Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Drunken Rancor. Today we will be breaking down Chapter 5 of Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. So as always, pour yourself a glass of something good. Today I'm going with a good old Texas whiskey. Devil's River Barrel Strength. At 117 proof, it'll put some hair on your chest. And let's begin. The chapter begins with Han having just returned to Coruscant from his previous mission, and having just finished his report to the New Republic Council. Akbar is the first to speak out, stating that once again the smugglers refuse to help. The Mon Calamari's before-mentioned hatred of smugglers rising up. Han tries to defend the smugglers, stating that they just see no need to switch over, seeing as there's no increase in profit and the same amount of risk when it comes to shipping goods for the New Republic, so why change? Another voice chimes in and says that it could be that the smugglers just don't trust the New Republic. It is here that we are first introduced to Borsk Phalia, the walking embodiment of a power-hungry politician. The funny thing is that he is not an outlier when it comes to Bothans. The Bothan culture over the years had basically groomed all Bothans to seek power through political manipulation, and that personal success was to be put before everything. Basically, every Bothan would be sorted into Slytherin. Bothans also have this thing called Arcry, where they completely eradicate a species. When declared, every Bothan capable of fighting was drafted into the military, and there was no quarter to the enemy. The war was fought until every member of the enemy species was destroyed. There was no ceasefire, for any reason. Bothans have a word for declaring a full genocide upon their enemies. Not only was the species to be wiped out, but Bothans would scour the galaxy, looking for any record or written history of the species to destroy. When Arcry was finished, there was nothing left of the opposing species. Not even memories of them. They were just gone. And since they actually have a word for this, means the Bothans have probably declared this multiple times throughout their history. After all, it's very unlikely they would have had an actual name for this had they not done it. Meaning there are species we have never heard about in the Star Wars universe because the Bothans genocided them. And these are the good guys. Borsk keeps pushing Han about the smugglers not trusting the New Republic, and Han finally admits that, yes, that could be the reason. Akbar acknowledges that he is most likely the reason that they do not trust the New Republic. That the smugglers probably fear that this is a trap laid out by the New Republic, orchestrated by the Mon Cala. Now, I don't think this is an intentional connection to Akbar's "it's a trap" from the Return of the Jedi, but it did make me think of that. And it also made me think of The Last Jedi. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Holdo from The Last Jedi, mainly because she makes some very illogical and counterintuitive decisions throughout the movie. Most importantly of all, refusing to tell Poe or anyone else about the plan to escape. Had there been mention of a spy on board the ship, and that everyone is paranoid because of it, I can understand keeping it a secret. But the people of the Resistance left the New Republic in order to fight the First Order. These are not people who are just going to blindly follow orders of a military leader just because they have a higher rank. If they did, they would have stayed in the New Republic military. And someone with as much experience as she has should have understood that. But what I would have liked to see is Akbar have survived. Maybe Holdo had remained in command because he was too hurt from the attack to take full command, but have Akbar survive the attack and have him be the one commanding the Raddus in the end. Because then you have Akbar lining up the hyperspace jump, and just before it happens, Hux, or one of the other First Order commanders screams it's a trap. You pay homage to an iconic scene, as well as giving a beloved character a proper send-off. You could also have Holdo survive, and have it that while Poe learns a lesson on being too reckless, she learns that you need to be able to trust the people you command, rather than just expecting them to blindly follow you. Back to the story, Akbar and Borsk begin to argue in what is apparently a recurring grievance between the pair, with Han thinking about how Borsk and Akbar had fought since the Bothans joined the Rebel Alliance, with Akbar seeing Borsk's constant attempts to gain political favor as a danger to the New Republic. Han had thought that the Bothan would probably be sent off to some unimportant position, but Borsk was able to leverage the fact that it was the Bothans that discovered the second Death Star's plans in order to gain actual political power in the New Republic. That being said, the Bothans getting a hold of the Death Star plans isn't that impressive when you realize it was a trap for the rebellion and the Emperor intentionally leaked the plans. Now I know that the Bothans are incredibly good at spy work and political espionage. After all, their entire culture is built around it. But I like to imagine that Palpatine just sent the plans through the Star Wars equivalent of a text, and then sent right after that, "Oh, crap, wrong number. Please delete the previous text." And all the deaths were just the Bothans offing each other as they tried to claim the honor of delivering the plans. Borsk and Akbar continue their argument, with Borsk suggesting that they are wasting their time sending Han on these missions if they are predoomed to failure, with Han replying that the smugglers they are after have been smugglers for a long time. They are not going to just rush into something without first thinking things through. Before the arguing can get out of hand, the meeting is interrupted by Mon Mothma, who states that the smugglers are waiting for the same thing the rest of the galaxy is, to see if the New Republic can actually form a functioning government, in anything more than name. Han thinks about how much the last few years since the Battle of Endor had put a strain on Mon Mothma, since she had been in the middle of rebuilding the new government ever since. Mon Mothma calls the meeting adjourned, and Han moves over to speak with Leia. He asks how the meeting had been going before he called in, and Leia says that Borsk and Akbar had gotten into another of their polite arguments, with Borsk using Obra Sky as an example of why Akbar might not be fit for duty. The two are interrupted by Mon Mothma, who asks if Leia has been able to get a hold of Luke, and if he had agreed to join her on her diplomatic mission to Bim Azari. She says yes, and Han asks why the Bim wanted Luke to join them, and Leia tells him that the Bim are a hero-oriented people, that having a Jedi with them would help their standings. Han fights down a sarcastic retort, as he thinks about how, if having a Jedi with them would be so helpful, then Mon Mothma should allow Leia to actually train as a Jedi, rather than hoisting diplomatic work onto her. Leia uses the excuse that they need to get the droids in order to leave before anything else comes up, as she tells Han not to worry, that with the three of them back together, it will be just like old times. Well, that's Chapter 5 of Heir to the Empire. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, leave a comment or hit me up at the Drunken Rancor on Twitter if you have any questions you want to discuss with me. Now, this was a lot shorter of a chapter, but as always, raise your glass, and may the Force be with you.